topic we cover today is assessment of attitude. So before going to detail regarding the topic, first we will see what is the meaning of assessment and attitude. So if you come to the assessment or evaluation, generally the assessment is the term derived from a Latin word that is assidere. The meaning of assidere is nothing but to sit beside. That means to sit beside with the learner. So why the term is using? Because if you sit with the learner, then only we can find out or we can assess their achievement, their qualities, etc. That's why we are using the term assidere, and it is means it forms the assessment word. Come to the next one, attitude. So what is an attitude? Attitude is nothing but it may be the likes or dislike of a person towards something. Something in the sense towards an object, towards an idea, or towards a person. One person's like or dislike we can term as an attitude, or in a simpler way, in the assessment of attitude we can say it may be related to the assessment of opinion also, we can say social problem, social opinions. The assessment we can say as an attitude. And now come the question, how we can assess this attitude, how it can be assessed. The attitude can be assessed in two different ways. One is directly and another one is indirectly. Come to the first one, the direct assessment of an attitude. How we can directly assess this attitude. So we are using certain scale that is generally known as attitude scale, and there are lot of attitude scales are there. So here in this video we will discuss few common and important attitude scale. Come to the first one, that is termed as a differential scale, and which is given by L.L. Thurston. And nowadays this scale it is not popularly using, it is one of the oldest method, and usually this particular scale it is used to assess the religious attitude. And nowadays we are not using that much because of the complication of this particular what we can say the scale. So what they will do in this Thurston scale, or it is known as the differential scale also, here a number of statements regarding the attitude, there will be a number of statements will be prepared by the researcher or to whom they want to assess the attitude. The number of statements will be selected, or number of statements will be prepared, and there will be a group of judges will be there. So what they will be doing, they will go through this statement. Initially they will assess the statement and they will give starting from 1 to 11 they will categorize, means like a score number they will be giving to this declarative statement. And majority we can say more than 100 or 150 statement they may be preparing. Later on that proper means there is some of the statement it is not accurate, such type of statement will be omitted and most favorable statement will be selected, and it will be categorized from 1 to 11. That means least favorable to most favorable they will be categorizing. 1 to 11 score will be given by the judges. Later the final tool will be prepared, or the final scale will be prepared, and that will be administered for the group of people what we want to collect this particular study or to collect the attitude. That is the differential scale or L.L. Thurston scale. Come to the next one, the most favorable or most accurate scale we use to assess the attitude, that is nothing but the summated scale, or it is otherwise termed as Likert scale. Why we call it is a Likert scale? It is developed by a person, his name is Rensis Likert. So here it contains a number of declarative statements, and it will be having several degrees of agreement to disagreement. And if you come to the agreement to disagreement, there may be usually a 5 point in between agreement to disagreement, or it may be a 7 point scale we will be preparing. Say one example, it may be sometimes start with strongly approve, or undecided or uncertain, disapprove, and strongly approve. Like that it will be having different 5 statements will be there, or 5 degrees of agreement or disagreement will be there, and each will be having a score, maybe starting from 5 to 0 or 0 to 5, like that different score will be given in the Likert scale, and this is the most accurate scale nowadays we are using. Come to the another scale, that is nothing but the Gutman scale, or it is otherwise termed as a scaleogram. And in this scale, usually we will be using to assess the agreement of a person towards certain attitude, and it is a unidimensional, means single variable or single domain will be assessed in this particular scale. And come to the fourth and another important scale, that is the what we can call it is a semantic differential scale, and which is given by Osgood. And while coming to this particular scale, it is a rating scale. We can say that this one is a rating scale which is having a bipolar adjectives. That means one example, if you say like strong or weak, good or bad, like that, a bipolar adjectives will be there, and in between they will be giving a 7 points. If it is good, sometimes it may be nearly to the good, or sometimes it may be middle of that one, good or bad, in between will be there. So like that, in between good and bad, 7 points will be there. Which one the person like to give a score, that can be selected in this semantic differential scale given by Osgood. So these are the different attitude scale. Directly we can assess the attitude. And there is an indirect assessment of attitude. Usually we will be going for certain projective tests. Here there is a Rorschach inkblot test will be there. Different images will show related to the attitude. The person can explain regarding this one. Thematic apperception test we have, that also contains certain images, unclear images related, or incomplete images related to certain idea. So the person can be explain regarding that particular this one. So indirectly we are assessing that one. So Rorschach inkblot test, thematic apperception test, all these things we are using as a indirect method of assessment of attitude. So these are the different types of assessment of attitude. So today we have seen regarding what is an attitude, what are the different methods of assessing attitude. So hope you are all understood regarding this topic. This is Vishant signing off till we meet the next class. Thank you.